Welcome to Lesson 7 of the Foundations of Language, where we will look at an overview of strands C and D. We will look at each of the overall expectations as well as the specific knowledge and skills addressed in each one. Let's start with strand C, comprehension, understanding, and responding to texts. In this strand, students integrate components of word, sentence, and text-level comprehension as they develop comprehension strategies, apply critical thinking skills to deepen their understanding of texts, and respond to increasingly complex texts. There are three overall expectations in strand C. C1, knowledge about texts. C2, comprehension strategies. And C3, critical thinking in literacy. We will now take a close look at each of the overall expectations and the knowledge and skills that each one focuses in on. Overall expectation C1, knowledge about texts. In this overall expectation, students will apply foundational knowledge and skills to understand a variety of text forms and genres, including digital and media texts, and texts by creators with diverse identities, perspectives, and experiences, with a focus on understanding various points of view. Students will demonstrate an understanding of the patterns, features, and elements of style associated with various text forms and genres. Overall expectation C2, comprehension strategies. Students will apply comprehension strategies before, during, and after reading, listening to, and viewing a variety of texts, including digital and media texts by creators with diverse identities, perspectives, and experiences, in order to understand and clarify the meaning of texts. You will notice in this overall expectation, the specifics are divided into the before, pre-reading strategies, the during, monitoring of understanding strategies, and the after, summarizing strategy. Reflecting on learning asks students to first identify, then describe and explain strategies that help them comprehend texts. In the later grades, students use these strategies to set goals for their learning. Overall expectation C3, critical thinking in literacy. Students will apply critical thinking skills to deepen their understanding of texts by learning about a variety of literary devices and making inferences about ideas explicitly and implicitly stated in texts. Students will analyze how various perspectives and topics are communicated and addressed in a variety of texts, including digital, media, and cultural texts. They will express, describe, and explain how various topics such as diversity, inclusion, and accessibility are addressed in texts, and will identify, explain, and assess the impact of texts created by First Nations, Métis, and Inuit individuals, communities, groups, or nations, and how they relate to current lived experiences. Students will reflect on their learning by identifying, comparing, and assessing the critical thinking skills that help them to comprehend a variety of texts. Strand D, composition, expressing ideas, and creating texts. In this strand, students apply their knowledge of oral language and learn to express ideas and create texts in various media, forms, and genres. Throughout the iterative text writing and creation process, students develop the skills to plan, research, draft, revise, edit, proofread, publish, and share their texts. There are three overall expectations in Strand D. D1, developing ideas and organizing content. D2, creating texts. And D3, publishing, presenting, and reflecting. Let's take a closer look at D1, Developing Ideas and Organizing Content. In this overall expectation, students will plan for specific purposes and audience, develop ideas, and gather information through research, and organize content for creating texts of various forms, including digital and media texts on a variety of topics. Students will reflect on their learning by first identifying, then describing and explaining the strategies that help them to develop and organize their content for their writing. Overall expectation D2, creating texts. Students will apply knowledge and understanding of various text forms and genres to create, revise, edit, and proofread their own texts using a variety of media, tools, and strategies, and reflect critically on created texts. This overall expectation includes producing drafts using a continuum of transcription skills, starting with printing, then handwriting, and finally word processing. Students find their own personal voice using words, phrases, and elements of style to express their thoughts, feelings, and opinions on topics. Students will identify the points of view used in their own texts, as well as begin to identify the bias, both implicit and explicit, conveyed in their writing. Students will revise, edit, and proofread their own work in order to improve the content, clarity, and accuracy of their writing. And finally, overall expectation D3, publishing, presenting, and reflecting. Students will select suitable and effective media techniques and tools to produce, publish, and present final texts. They will critically analyze how well the texts address various topics by reflecting on their learning and identifying, describing, and comparing a variety of strategies they found helpful in presenting and communicating their message. Thank you for joining me for the 7th and final lesson of the Foundations of Language Learning module. It truly has been with great excitement and honor that I have been able to walk you through this learning module. I hope it has been helpful in your beginning understanding of the new curriculum. Wishing you lots of luck in navigating these changes in the new school year.